Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds, not just the Cricket Nerd. James has been holding the fort for a few days with some excellent solo podcasts, so glad you've been enjoying that content. But we're back and we're going to talk about the fourth test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy at Ahmedabad. And it looks like we've got a game on our hands. Exciting. We've got a contest between bat and ball, 90 overs bowled in the day. What more can we ask for?
That, you know what? That is so true. What more can we ask for? Like, this is, I mean, you know, we've been watching pretty much every single game of baseball. So for all intents and purposes, we're bored out of our skulls watching this. But it is genuine, normal test cricket that might actually last 5 days. It is going to test the batters. It is going to test the bowlers. It is really perfectly balanced right now. And I'm just really happy to see it. I'm happy that we're only looking like we're about halfway through the first innings after the first day. Because
Great. It's brilliant.
All I want to see right now is 5 days of high quality test cricket. And I want it to be really close fought. I think that'll be just the most entertaining thing, especially with the context of the World Test Championship final, because if Australia lose or draw, if they lose, win or draw this game, then if Sri Lanka can win both of their games against New Zealand, Sri Lanka are in the World Test Championship final with India. There we go.
Regardless of what Australia do,
yes,
if Sri Lanka win, they're in.
I'm pretty sure. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because that was the most tortured sentence I've ever got out on this channel.
But it's fine. Let's talk about the cricket because it's been good. Australia named an unchanged team to the team that won the previous test in indoor. And it looks like it's worked all right. The heroes of the day, I'd say, were Usman Khawaja and Cameron Green. But nods to Travis Head, who played a very aggressive opening innings and sort of was hitting it all over the place. Made 32 before finally being outfoxed by Ashwin. But it's been good. The bowlers have bowled really well. The batsmen have had to play aggressive because it has been difficult going out there. And yeah, I just want to say, Usman Khawaja just played a fantastic knock. I think like his century is just showing that as at the moment, his confidence is just sky high. He's just been playing fantastically, and that's a scary prospect for a potential Ashes tour. If this is sort of the bare bones of the team that are going to be coming to England, once you've got Pat Cummins returning, who we know is an absolute monster in English conditions, if we have a fit Josh Hazlewood and a fit Mitchell Starc, this could be a very strong and scary Australia team for the Ashes this summer.
Yeah, so do you think that Usman Khawaja is the most in-form opener in the world at the moment? Like the best test opener in the world at the moment?
Ooh. Potentially. I think
I'm trying to think of somebody that's in better form right now.
Rohit's up there.
Yeah.
Definitely not Zach Crawley. He's definitely not one of the most informed openers in the world right now.
New Zealand, Devon Conway hasn't been doing too well.
Yeah, to be fair, no one really has been doing gloriously over in there. Maybe he is.
Markram's doing pretty well so far, but
he's only just become an opener.
I was going to say it's such a small sample size that I think Usman Khawaja at the moment is the best opener in Test cricket, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, looking at India's bowling though, Mohammad Shami for me was the pick of the bowlers. He just looked the most potent. He's got such unrelenting length and line, and I really like him as a bowler. I've been a fan of his since he played for Punjab so many times. So, Mohamed Shami is always going to hold a special place in my heart. But yeah, like, I thought he was the absolute pick of the bowlers today. Axar Patel we need him to take wickets. That's the biggest thing, really. He needs to take wickets. He needs to show that he can be his potent self. So that'll be one of the big questions, especially as the pitch breaks up going forward, because it looks like a normal Asian pitch in terms of like relatively low and slow on the first few days, should break up and turn in the back few, which that's exactly what I want to see. That's perfect.
I thought that I mean, he was very tight, very, very tidy, contained very well. I think, yeah, as you say, a couple more wickets would really be good for them. I do think Mohamed Siraj would have been an absolute monster on this pitch in the opening spell. I don't know the reasoning behind Umesh Yadav being picked over Siraj, whether it
seems like a rest thing, because
they're resting
Umesh
him,
was picked over over Shami, and then he's then been picked over Siraj. So I don't know if it's just like a rest and rotation thing. It might well be. But yeah, he didn't look quite as fluent, but I mean, he's still not been very expensive. He's under 4 and over, and who knows how he'll come back tomorrow. Should we move on? Should we go to the Women's Premier League? Because
let's do it.
That's a tournament we all know and love at this point. So the current standings as of right now recording, which is about an hour before the next match, which will be, what will it be? Delhi Capitals versus Mumbai Indians.
Mumbai, yeah.
So that's the top 2 teams facing off. So that'll be quite a fun match to watch. But yeah, at the moment, RCB have played 3 and lost 3, which has led to our comments being filled with typical RCB comments. Gujarat faced off against RCB in the last match, and it was actually a really good match. It was a proper thriller. What did you think of the first innings? So Gujarat, I believe.
Well,
batted first.
Here's what I was pleased with. I was pleased to see Sophia Dunkley be picked because I think, she didn't play the first game, and I think that was Beth Mooney going down the let's pick all the Aussies route. So I think, yes, Sophia Dunkley playing was fantastic. She's such a talent with the bat. We've seen her really come into her own for England, and it's fantastic seeing her go out there and just smash it around. I think she had a strike rate of over 230 and really just put the pressure on RCB straight away by playing such a great knock. There was a trio of Aussies to come in there. Kim Garth, who now plays for Australia now after she moved over from Ireland. So it's interesting to see. Yeah, they're still going with that sort of core, but it's good to see a great performance from Sophia Dunkley. Also, very ably supported by Harleen Deal, who again played a really good, sensible knock. This was more measured, still striking at there around 150. So not terrible as well. Like the as you mentioned, James, and we've said all the way through, the quality of this tournament has been fantastic, and it's not like they're facing like bad bowling either. Like we've got Heather Knight, Megan Shutt, and Elise Perry in this, who are all again very talented international players. So yeah, it has been good to see that. So Gujarat Giants came out and spearheaded by the 2 that I mentioned, put up a great score of 201 for 7, which and it was a great knock all the way through. I think wicket keeper Verma as well at the end played, I think got something like 5 off 2 or something like that, hit a 4 at the end, which was
which to be honest, what do you think of a wicket keeper coming in at 9? Like that shows to me what we'd said in the WPL preview, which was doesn't look like people have really thought through the whole wicket keeping situation. Like there just weren't that many high quality wicket keepers being picked in the auction. And so Beth Mooney going out, obviously being injured, you can't plan for that too much, but you can obviously get cover. And yeah, but the cover bats at 9. So I thought that was an interesting one. Obviously, she's only faced 2 balls, so we can't really judge her too heavily on performance. And at the moment, she's doing all right. But yeah, we have no idea. So that kind of remains to be seen.
We're seeing this trend, though, I think, in the WPL that I think, again, we see a lot. And we've touched on this, talking about women's cricket as a whole, how there is just so many all-rounders going around. Because generally, as you say, and I think it goes back to the grassroots of the game where everyone bats and everyone balls. And I think because it's a much more, the women's game is far more in its infancy than the men's game. It's still developing and it's still pushing. And we're seeing the push for people to move out of being just all-rounders and move to specialising in one or the other. Because I think we saw, in this game for RCB, I think Elise Perry, she opened the bowling and batted at number 3.
That's
she's a really good player.
You're showing your class as the international high quality all rounder. It does come across as a little bit village.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
Sure.
Where like you've got the one player who can bat and bowl, and like they will open and bowl all of their overs, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But, there's people that you and we've got the same person in our heads when we're thinking about that, especially in that women's game.
Yeah. So it's good to see. And I've got to say, RCB started going about their chase in exactly the right way, because they were 54 after 5 overs by the time they actually lost their first wicket, which was Smriti Mandana. So Sophie Devine went about that exactly right. I thought they paced themselves really well. They were capitalizing on every single bad delivery. Elise Perry also kind of started to carry on that momentum a little bit. And then the wheels sort of just came off pretty quickly, which was, it was just a shame to see. I think it was scoreboard pressure, and it was some pretty decent bowling, especially from Ashley Gardner. But yeah, it was just chasing 202 was just a bit too much for RCB this time. So they kick off their tournament with 3 L's in a row, which is rough. Should we quickly, though, go on to a Cricket Nerds question?
Yes, absolutely.
Which actually does regard the WPL. It is from... I've just lost it. Goodness sake. I'll edit this out. Okay. It is from Wheel of Time 2908, who has said, can you comment this on your next podcast? Yes. His second question is, as an Indian, I feel that Indian women's cricket has a massive leadership crisis. The amount of finals and semis we have lost is staggering. Due to Mithali's very weak captaincy in the past. I find Kaur's captaincy very defensive, even though she is an aggressive batter, and she is not tactically astute at all. Virat had a fast bowling vision. Kaur never bothered to identify and groom fast bowlers. I can tell you confidently that there are very promising fast bowlers down south, but Kaur is very biased regionally. Smriti's captaincy in the WPL has been even more disappointing so far, though she's an exquisite batter. I feel we should groom Yastika Bhatia very soon. So, very strong opinions there. What are your thoughts on just the captaincy that we've seen so far and from India women?
I feel like I'm not qualified enough to say because I don't know enough about it. I think just talking about captaincy for England, we've got Meg Lanning for Australia. And about new captains for India. I need to edit this out. I've got no idea.
Yeah, no, I'm baffled as well. We'll move on. We're moving on to another question that we actually know about. Right. Next question is from Amar Reddy, and he said, I feel the South Africa T20, so SA20 way of giving bonus points would be great for the tournament for bottom teams to stay in the hunt. What's your view on this? So if those that didn't know, basically, depending on the margin of victory that you get, you can earn extra points in the SA20, which basically encourages you to be absolutely ruthless. I absolutely think that would have been a great innovation for the WPL, especially looking at, you know, the way that it started for RCB, for example, knowing that if they absolutely, you know, really heavily beat some of the top teams, then they can get 3 points instead of 2. That would be huge for them, and really quite motivating. So I absolutely think that would have been a good idea, but maybe we'll see it come into T20s at some point, or the IPL and WPL at some point. Don't know what you think.
So if you're lower down, you get more points for beating a higher ranked team, or you get more
it's
points
more that
for a larger margin of victory.
It's just, yeah, it's purely on margin of victory. So I was saying that for RCB, just they would, you know, you can get like a 4-pointer where, because they are doing so well and you're doing so badly, the significance of that victory is more. So yeah, that's what I was meaning, but it's purely on the margin of victory.
No, I get that. Yeah, which I think that's good because I like other tournaments that have this bonus point. Like, I think I follow quite a lot of rugby, and rugby, you tend to see like a bonus point for having more tries. And since that's come in, it's become a much more interesting game. I think people are always going to try and score more tries. And the same thing is in cricket. If you're, you know, giving a bonus point, if you're incentivizing a bigger margin of victory, it means that you take more risks with the bat and you take more risks with the ball. You bat more aggressively, which again creates great cricket. And you bowl more aggressively, and you have to rely on your skills more. You have to set aggressive fields to try and get, you know, this exciting game finished. And as you said, like that first game, where you had, I think it was Gujarat versus Mumbai, wasn't it? When I think Mumbai absolutely smashed Gujarat. That really could, it incentivizes great cricket. So I think that's can only be a good thing for the game. And I would like to see a few more leagues experiment on this. Maybe the 100 will do it. And we'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. We hope you've enjoyed having more than just one nerd on the channel. We will be closely watching the rest of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. We've got a few other bits to talk about in upcoming podcasts. There's tests going on with South Africa and West Indies. Sri Lanka and New Zealand is an interesting one because that affects the World Test Championship final. We won't talk about England versus Bangladesh because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, nothing. Was there a game? I've got no idea. I didn't hear about that.
There might have been. Yeah, no, England bottled it with the ball, probably, maybe. That's what I've heard. Yeah. But yeah, there's loads of cricket to talk about. We'll be following it. So yeah, stay tuned. Follow us on social media. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. Ask your cricket nerds questions and we'll try to answer them in next videos. Other than that, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.